What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Ben Wasserman Show. If you're watching this live, thank you very much. If you're listening to this as a podcast on Apple or Spotify, thank you very much as well. It's a weird time in New York sports right now. Yankees Mets 7 days away from opening day, but not much news right now about them. Jets still don't have their quarterback. Giants waiting until the NFL draft, but I have a very special guest that I'm about to bring on. This man used to be a D1 college football player, and now he is a full-time show host on WFAN, the world famous WFAN, and he's also a diehard Yankees fan like myself. Welcome, Keith McPherson. Yeah, there we go.
Hey, what's up, Ben? Thanks for having me. Thanks for the little intro right there. Let's get it, man. Let's talk some sports.
Yeah, so thanks for coming on. And also, congratulations. I know you're having a son very, very soon. So thank you for coming on and lots of excitement around you right now. So that's awesome.
Yeah, little Jackson McPherson, my firstborn son, is on the way. We're on baby watch for the next like 2-3 weeks. I'm excited about it. So thank you for that. And yeah, just trying to make things happen, make time. When we originally planned for this podcast, it was supposed to be tomorrow
Yep.
afternoon. And then they moved me to Carton and Roberts tomorrow afternoon. So I hit you up like, hey, can we do this Thursday? And here we are.
Yeah, here we are. I had to find some time in between classes, but obviously we made it work. So I'm very excited about us being able to talk and you being on this podcast. So I want to start this off. I want to learn about you a little bit, your journey, and then we'll talk about the Yankees. But I just saw something on Twitter. I'm not sure if you saw it, so this could be your reaction right now. The Yankees are adding an Aaron Judge inspired cheeseburger to the home games in the 2023 season. 2 Wagyu patties, cheese, pickles, onions, and a secret sauce for $19.99. And there's only going to be 99 of them in each home game. I'm not sure if you saw that, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I saw. I was invited to the food tasting. I've been to a couple of those. Yankee Stadium. Uh, that's what they call it. I didn't come up with that. I knew
Okay.
about it. It was yesterday that they had it, and media check-in was like 10:30 in the morning, and I was on the air till 2 a.m. I didn't go to sleep till like 4 a.m. There was no way I was getting up there for that. But whenever I see the pictures and the videos of the new food items, I'm like, damn, I should have went up there to get that free food. But it's a hike to get to the Bronx from Jersey City, especially when you're on the radio at night. But yeah, I like the idea of this Wagyu beef burger, the 99 burger, and it's $19.99. So,
Yeah.
just under $20 plus tax, it's over $20. And they're only making 99 of them per game. So, first come, first serve. That's a cool little twist. Someone just called my show last night to say that the Yankees need to step their food up. And I'm like, their food's not bad. It just depends where you are in the stadium. They have good food options. You just got to look. And then the Mets rolled out their new food today. They hosted a bunch of media members at Citi Field today. They have better food than Yankee Stadium. They've had better food around just their general concourse area than Yankee Stadium, and that's perfectly fine.
Yeah, I always say Citi Field is nicer than Yankee Stadium, but like the vibe at Yankee Stadium, obviously you sit in the bleachers all the time. You can't beat that. But Citi Field, I haven't really tried the food in a long time. If you say it's better, then I believe you. But aesthetically, I think it is nicer.
Yeah, we'll see what this new scoreboard that Steve Cohen put up. I
Yeah.
think that's going to be incredible. I saw someone post from being in there today. It's just a huge scoreboard, and it's going to be more modern, right? It's going to probably be able to be damn near 4K. But yeah, I like Citi Field. I like their food options. I obviously like Yankee Stadium better and go to Yankee Stadium way more. I'm a Yankee fan, and that's the difference between Yankee Stadium and Citi Field. Like you have the bleacher creatures versus the 7 line. You have
Yeah.
like actual like crazy fans that go nuts over everything in Yankee Stadium. I feel like Citi Field is more of a sit there and clap and be a spectator. Yankee Stadium is the Bronx Zoo. Everybody lose your mind and go nuts.
Yeah, it sure is. I haven't been able to sit in the bleachers a lot. I've only sat there one time, but that one time that I did, I definitely had a lot of fun. I hope to see you there next season. I think I'm going to go to the Saturday game in what is it, 9 days now. So you plan on going out to that one? You plan on going out to a bunch of games again?
I mean, I go to about 40, 50 games a year. I think I'm going to have to scale that back with the newborn baby, but I'll be at opening day and we'll see about the weekend. I don't know. I'm planning on hitting opening day, and then I don't have anything else planned. But I'm blessed, man. I used to play the ticket game. I used to always be looking for the cheapest ticket in. I used to always be trying to buy tickets in advance and trying to find free tickets. And now I'm part of the media. I can use my credential and walk through the press gate. It's super convenient and a blessing to have at this point, as I'm still like, going to games and still actively showing up at the stadium rooting for the Yankees.
Yeah, that's awesome. So now I want to learn a little bit about your journey because most people that work at the fan, they either intern with them or they worked at a radio station before, but you're very different. You did a bunch of jobs before you got to the fan. You were social media for Fubo. You were a model I saw on your LinkedIn. Can you walk me through, and everybody else who's listening, like that journey a little bit? Because I know once you got to John Boy, that was really the stepping stone for you.
Yeah, so I mean, BMG modeling actually just hit me up this week to do a casting for like some like Rogaine or no Roman like men's like hair loss or something, and I'm like, I don't have any problems with hair loss, and I told him I was like, I don't even look like that anymore. The thing is with the modeling, I signed a 18-month modeling contract, and then we fell into the pandemic, so I stopped going to casting calls in New York City because nothing was going on in the city back then. But yeah, I'm blessed that my journey brought me to WFAN, and that I didn't have to do the like intern 15-year grind that a lot of people have had to do just to get on air. I did go to school for radio and television. I graduated with a radio and TV degree from Monmouth University, but coming out of college, it was quiet for me, man. I don't come from much. I don't have many connections. I don't have any family in the industry. I didn't have anybody to put me on. So I was a DJ. I DJ'd on campus. I DJ'd at bars that, college kids went to at my school. And getting out of college, I applied to a bunch of jobs, but it was crickets. So I just hit the DJ circuit, man. I was a promoter, MC, DJ, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, whatever nights of the week there was a bar, club in the Jersey Shore area that I could work. I was in there. And then from doing that for about 2 or 3 years after school, I got a job at the Guitar Center in Ocean Township, being a audio nerd, going to school for radio and television and being a DJ. Like I know a lot about microphones. I know a lot about speakers. I was like the best salesman in the pro audio department at Guitar Center for a year. And then MLB Fan Cave came calling, and I auditioned, and I got that. I got to represent the Yankees and Derek Jeter's last year in 2014. I spent the
That's
season in
awesome.
the MLB Fan Cave, the last season of the MLB Fan Cave. I always say I sacrificed the summer to the baseball gods to get into the industry and have a job working in sports and in baseball. And the year after that, 2015, I got a job at MTV2 because they did a show at the MLB Fan Cave called Off Base. And, the young lady who was the social media person hiring a social media coordinator at MTV2, she remembered me from the Fan Cave. She didn't give me a business card or tell me to send her my resume. It's just like the universe never unconnects. I was about to go work at the Home Depot, walking distance from my mom's house in Neptune in February of 2015. And then I got an email from MTV to come interview. I interviewed. I started working there March 23rd, 2015. I worked there for 2.5 years, grinded, and just like wasn't fulfilled. It was cool to work there because you're with celebrities, you're with musicians. I really do give Viacom MTV credit for giving me an opportunity and teaching me about the corporate world. But once I got experience on my resume, that is when I was like, okay, now I have this experience that I didn't have coming out of college. When I was applying to jobs coming out of college and I had to DJ to survive, every place I looked said you needed to have 3 years of experience, like minimum. No one was looking
Wow.
for 1 year of experience or someone fresh out of college. So after I had the Fan Cave and I had MTV, there was my 3 years of experience. I quit my MTV job, drove Lyft Uber for a month, and I got hired at Fubo TV as their first social media manager. Fubo TV is a streaming platform for sports fans. It's honestly the best streaming platform, over the top, cable cutting, cord cutting, cable replacement. Worked there for not even a year, and Rock Nation came calling. So I took a gig at Rock Nation, being the head of their, Rock Nation Sports digital marketing. I was a marketing manager for the football guys. I got to work with Saquon Barkley, Geno Smith, Todd Gurley, Leonard Fournette, Ronnie Staley, CJ Procise, like a bunch of different NFL guys, but I only worked there for like 3 months. And around
Yeah.
that time, I was seeing guys rise out of Yankees Twitter. And I had been tweeting about the Yankees before it was even called Yankees Twitter, because I was in the fan cave 4 years before that. So, fast forward from being like, a fan cave guy and tweeting about the Yankees in 2014, I'm seeing all of these content creators emerge with vlogs and podcasts. And I'm like, that's me. That's what I should be doing. So I quit my job that summer. I bought a camera. I bought a new MacBook. I learned how to edit videos. I learned how to create content. And I just started pushing forward to put myself out there. That led me to doing a podcast called George's Box with Bronx Pinstripes. That picked up, but I was one and done one season there. And then I saw what, John Boy and Jake were putting together. I was already friends with Joe's McFly, and I had seen them. Like I said, I had saw like, Hubs from Barstool, Bronx Pinstripes, John Boy, Joe's McFly, all of these guys kind of making a name for themselves on Yankees Twitter, covering the Yankees and making their own content. And I just saw the gate was wide open for myself to jump in and do that. And I joined John Boy Media in 2020, and then we fell right into the pandemic. And yeah, I worked there for like 2 years doing Pinstripe Strong, talking Nets, and behind the scenes helping them build the social media under @JohnBoyMedia, and whatever little things they needed me to do behind the scenes, I did. Just trying to be a team player. But then the opportunity came to audition at WFAN in the summer of 2021. I had one audition show. We got some pretty good attention online. I think my online following on Twitter and Instagram kind of, really built me up, and that piqued WFAN's attention. A couple months go by. It's October, and Steve Summers is retiring, and they tell me that they're going to put me in the nighttime spot to replace Steve Summers. And I'm like, that doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't have any experience. No one's going to like my show. I've never done this before. I'm kidding. I was like, hell yeah. It was a challenge,
Yeah.
but I was ready for the challenge. I went to school for radio and television. This was the dream. So then I start working at WFAN, and 3 months into working at WFAN, MLB Network comes calling, and they launch a brand new show called Off Base, and I'm on that show, and I'm doing the radio every night, and I'm going to Yankee games every night, and I'm driving from the Bronx to Tribeca to do the show. I'm just on go, and the next morning I'm getting up and I'm driving to Secaucus to do the live MLB Network show. It was all a dream, man. And fast forward to now, I'm kind of slowing things down because my son's going to be born, and I plan on going dark, stepping out. I don't even plan on tweeting or posting
Oh,
on social
really?
media. Yeah, I like want to go dark, like LeBron James, like when he's going into the playoffs, like turn your social
Or
media off.
Rogers in the isolation.
Yeah, dark. I'm going on a darkness retreat with my newborn. But no, I just want a break from everything, and I want to be able to step out of everything and kind of clear my head and see what the landscape looks like out here as the season gets started. And then I'll be back in late May, early June, like after Memorial Day weekend. But yeah, long story short, short story long, that's how I got here.
No, yeah, that's awesome. That definitely takes a lot of guts to quit a corporate job that probably had a lot of benefits and then to quit other positions. But it sounds like you always stayed mentally tough, which is always very important. And always, it sounds like you always had that vision of where you wanted to go. So that's great.
I wouldn't advise people to quit jobs without jobs lined up. My wife works in recruiting, hiring, HR, and coming home and telling your wife multiple times, like, "Hey, I quit. I don't have a job anymore." It's not really a good feeling, and it's not really the best thing for success. But I'm a hustler. I'm a grinder. Like I always let people know. I drove Lyft. I drove Uber. I'm trying to find my Lyft thing. I'm proud of that
Oh, you still
because
got it.
hell yeah, I'm proud of that because like
That thing's
I
cool.
wasn't I wasn't too cocky. I wasn't too prideful to go make a dollar. I sold shoes. I sold old pairs of Jordans. I sold collector's items. I'm in my studio now. I've got a bunch of stuff. I'm not selling this, but like
That's the
I've got a
Susan
bunch of
Waldman one.
yeah, I've got a bunch of collector's items. And I parted ways with the ones that I wanted to sell. This is just what I could grab. Let me see. Um,
Do you have an extra Garrett Cole bobblehead?
I actually do. I
Oh,
have
well, I'm not asking for it, but I do love Garrett Cole.
so I have this Garrett Cole bobblehead, and then I have this one I haven't even opened because they've done 2 Garrett Cole bobbleheads in the last couple years. This one's still in the box right here. So I've got the
I
Garrett
like that.
Cole bobblehead from Top Gun, and then I've got this one from last year, not even out of the box.
Yeah, that's my style. I like to look at them once and then just put them in the box.
Yeah, and then save them. And maybe you show your kid one day. That's what I'm gonna do when my kid's born. He's gonna be like, baseball sucks. And I'm gonna be like, yeah, but they give out cool bobbleheads at the stadium, bro.
Yeah, and then you get him the ice cream cup that he brings it home.
Yeah, speaking of, I've got a few of those. You know, helmets, ice cream helmets from the stadium.
Cool.
Uh,
You got
one from
everything.
one from one from Dodger Stadium, the
Oh,
theme
is that
park of
from the All Stadium?
ballparks. I mean, I don't know. I've been to Dodger Stadium like 6 or 7 times. This one might be from the All-Star game, but I've been there before that.
That's cool.
But yeah, all this stuff is authentic, bro. I'm not a gimmick guy. I am exactly, who I am, and I'm thankful. I'm grateful. I thank God that like the person that I naturally am, I'm allowed to be in media, in sports, in this industry, in radio and television. Like I don't have to turn it on. Like what you see is what you get. And like this started a long, long time ago. And for me to be where I am now, it's really just the beginning. So
Yeah, no, that's
blessed.
awesome. And I think, I mean, I know me personally, that's why people like me gravitate towards you because you're just like a real guy. It's just someone who, it seems like everybody can be friends with. When people call into your show, you let them speak for a long time. So that's definitely really cool. But now I want to go back to that tryout that you mentioned. Were you nervous for that, or were you just like very confident, like I'm gonna do my thing? I know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the Yankees. I'm gonna have fun.
I was more nervous for my first night on WFAN. When the tryout happened, I think I was just oblivious, man. I had no idea what was coming. Uh That it was August 25th. It was a Wednesday night. The Yankees weren't playing, but the Yankees were on a winning streak. That was right when the Yankees' 13-game winning streak would end in 2021. They went to Oklahoma. Oklahoma. What the hell am I saying? There's no team in Oklahoma. See, this is what I'm talking about. Before we went
Yeah.
live, I said I misspeak. I just say things. There's no Major League Baseball team in Oklahoma. There's only one professional team in Oklahoma, and they're in Oklahoma City. They went
Yeah,
to
no, that's all
Oakland.
good.
They lost to the Oakland A's. That's what I meant to say. So I went in with a whole plan. I was going to talk about each step of the winning streak, who made a play or a big hit, like all of these things to talk about the Yankees. And I think it was James Harden's birthday. I was going to talk about the Nets a little bit. Well, I had no clue. I listen to WFAN. I've always been a fan of New York sports talk radio, but I hadn't been consistently listening enough to realize it was a Mets night. The Mets had lost to the Dodgers 3-2, and Taijuan Walker got pulled. So all the calls were complaining Mets fans about losing that game, pulling the pitcher too early. I think he was at 76 pitches, and the bullpen gave it up. Typical Mets, right? So I go in with my whole plan. And my first thing to do is qualify myself because in my mind, I'm like, no one knows me. Even though I know some people know me, like the radio reaches so many people that don't know
Yeah.
me. It's not the internet. So I tell my whole story, kind of how I just gave you the quick story of, college to now. And after I do that, I start talking about the Yankees and people are calling about the Mets. And shout out to Big Zoo, who was producing that night. He was like, I know you got your own agenda. I know you only got 3 hours, and it could be, the only 3 hours you ever get on WFAN, but you should take these Mets calls. You should talk to these Mets fans about what happened tonight. And I'm like, damn, I was so unprepared. I was like, I didn't even watch the game. Like, I heard the game on air. I heard what happened. And I'm telling you, I'm not a Mets fan. You see this room? There's no Mets stuff in here. Like,
Yep.
I
Just
never
like
paid
me.
attention to the Mets. I never watched the Mets. For what? Like, there's no reason for me to watch that orange and blue team. I never turned to SNY. So when I got on air, I like knew who played and what happened. But then I go back and forth with Mets fans. Long story short, that 3 hours was impressive enough for WFAN to say, yeah, he's got the voice. He's got some talent. He'll figure out the rest. And like I said, I think the biggest thing for me was while I was on air, people were tweeting at WFAN, yo, Keith McPherson's on. Yo, great to hear Keith McPherson on WFAN. This is crazy. And I remember talking to Tom Izzo, who's like our digital head of digital guy. And he's like,
Yeah,
yeah, we noticed the next morning when we came in, there was a lot of interaction for someone who had never been on air before.
that's awesome. And not Tom Izzo, the Michigan State basketball coach. I've actually talked to him, so it's really funny. I love the tweets about that. They play later tonight. But yeah,
Tom
that's
Izzo
amazing.
from Tom Izzo from WFAN. This is his time of the year, the same as it is for the Michigan Spartans. I'm taking the Michigan Spartans tonight. Too many bets coming in on Kansas State. Let's go,
I was gonna ask
Sparty.
you about that. I like Gonzaga personally.
I like UCLA tonight to beat
Oh,
Gonzaga, and I got one bracket that's still in play with UCLA winning it all. So let's go
well,
Bruins.
my bracket got crushed on the first day with Arizona. Shout out the New Jersey team, St. Peter's last year, Princeton this year. So yeah, my bracket
FDU,
never looked
FDU.
good. And FDU, yeah, they beat down Purdue. I'm from Penn State, so I did not want Purdue to do good in the tournament. And I was gonna ask you if you still got DJ talent, I would love for you to come up to Penn State.
Man, Penn State is so far. I've only been out there one time for the Nike Combine, but Penn State is lit. Like Happy Valley is awesome. Like when you're driving in, it's like farms, and then like the school starts to pop up. It like tells you how
Yeah.
many miles away you are, and then you start seeing the nitty line, and then next thing you know, you're like, holy shit, this is Penn State. Uh, yeah, no, I would love to DJ a party there. I know you guys turn up, but that's too far for me to drive.
3 hours. I mean, I've gotten used to it. It kind of feels like 10 minutes, but I mean, you
Where are
live in
you
the
originally
South,
from?
Randolph, New Jersey, Morris County,
Okay,
so up from you. Yeah.
okay.
So big question, you're from Ocean. Is it Central Jersey or South?
It's the shore. It's Monmouth County. It's the North Shore, the north part of the Jersey Shore. I don't say it's Central Jersey because to me, Central Jersey is like Middlesex, Carteret. I used to live in Carteret. That is Central Jersey. Where I'm from in Ocean, it's exit 105. If you get down to exit 105, you're not in the center of Jersey anymore. You're not in the middle of Jersey anymore. You're down the shore. That's
Yeah,
one of the exits that people get off when they're going to the beach. And that's where I'm from, down by the beach, boy. OT. I'm from Ocean Township, Monmouth County, born and raised, born in Monmouth Medical Center, went to Monmouth University. I got nothing else to rep. It is what it is.
well, I got an idea. I know you went to the same high school as Kenny Pickett. Come up to Penn State and then head over to Pittsburgh, which is another, I think it's like 2 hours. Just an idea, but
Man,
so
Pittsburgh is a hell of a drive. I'm never making that drive either. I went out to see the Yankees play the Pirates. But yeah, shout out to KP, Kenny Two Gloves, Kenny Football. I always love to say that I walked so Kenny could run. I played quarterback at Ocean. We were 10 years apart. And I coached him in Big Red football camp when I was 21 and he was 11. And we all kind of knew he was special. He ended up being a prodigy. The kid was good at baseball, basketball, football, and just like really started to become a quarterback in high school. And I'm so proud to see what he did at Pitt and what he did his first year in the NFL. They got to make sure they get some people to block for him, keep him upright, and he's got that dog in him. He's got that like Joe Burrow in him. Like he'll
that's
make
what
the
it's all
throws.
about.
He'll stand in the pocket and deliver the ball. He's unfazed. So look out for Kenny Pickett from Ocean Township, my alma mater. We're the two best quarterbacks to ever come out of that school.
That's awesome. Kenny Pickett really improved at the end of the season. I was a fan of the Steelers when they drafted him over Malik Willis. Not that Malik Willis is like bad or anything, but I just thought
It's a
Pickett was a
no-brainer.
better
It was a
overall thrower.
no-brainer. Look at
Yeah,
Malik Willis ended up going second round, and Tennessee, he had an opportunity this year. He was not ready for that opportunity.
nope.
Kenny ended up seizing his opportunity over Mitchell Trubisky and taking that job. To me, it was a no-brainer, and I'm so happy that Kenny fell to Pittsburgh. I had a tweet in 2020 where I said, man, I just hope that, like, I knew Ben Roethlisberger was going to retire, and I had a tweet in 20, like, I hope that Kenny gets drafted by the Pittsburgh Steelers because the Steelers and the Pitt Panthers, they train in the same facility. He was already
Yeah, same
familiar with
field.
Tomlin and all those guys. It was destiny. The universe never unconnects again. It was written in the stars.
Yeah, and it's a winning team, unlike, well, the Giants won last year, but unlike the Jets, unfortunately for me. So I titled this episode, Will the Yankees Win the World Series? I need to know your unbiased thoughts. If you're just going to look at all the MLB teams, take out your fandom, do you think the Yankees actually have a chance this year, or are they going to get crushed again by the Astros?
That's two different questions. Will the Yankees win the World Series? Do the Yankees have a chance to win the World Series? The
Oh,
Yankees
will
have a
they? Will
chance to
they?
win the World Series every year. I don't think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
they'll win the World Series though. No.
All right.
I've grown up. If you've listened to me on WFAN, I always say, Peter Pan's got to grow up someday. One day you realize Santa Claus isn't real. You enter the real world and you realize like winning the World Series is hard to do. And the Yankees, they do a lot of dumb stuff and they count against themselves. And right now, like just look at the rotation. Not confident that they're gonna win the World Series. Look at the problems that they're having in a crowded infield, and everybody talking about start Anthony Volpe on the opening day roster, start him at shortstop. I don't think they'll do that. They might. I don't think they will. So they still have a lot of issues with their business and how they go about doing their business. All I will say is this: let the hype die down. Every single year, it's World Series, World Series, World Series, World Series, right? If you look right behind me, that's all we know as Yankees fans. World Series, 27-time champs. But you have to build to the World Series. It's a long season, 162 games, and you need to be healthy playing your best baseball going into October. And sometimes the Yankees do that, but then they don't hit. They disappear in October. So this lineup, I got to see it. I got to see if Josh Donaldson still has it. I got to see if DJ LeMahieu stays healthy. Can Judge duplicate what he did last year? No. But can he still be
Yeah.
productive? Yes. Can Giancarlo Stanton stay healthy and hit some bombs? Can Rizzo hit another 30 bombs? Maybe. What's Gleyber Torres going to be? Is he going to be an everyday contributor? Is he going to have dry spells where he slumps and he gives you the puppy dog face? They still haven't traded him, and now his value is not as high as it once was. So let's see. Are they going to keep running Aaron Hicks out there? Harrison Bader is hurt, supposed to be your center fielder. There's a lot of question marks. So to answer your question, I do not think the Yankees are winning the 2023 World Series.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think any Yankees fan can confidently say that they're going to beat the Astros. And even teams in the National League, like the Phillies, they only got better getting Trey Turner. So definitely a tough road. And as you said, I am very scared about their hitting come in the postseason because they never hit. And also, as you said, they always make weird decisions. I think Volpe should be the starting shortstop, but I mean, I'd be shocked if he is. Connor Falefa, even though he's playing catcher, sometimes they're putting on the catcher gear. I think he'll still be the starting shortstop, and they got to get healthy too.
You know, Oswald Peraza was forced into action in the American League Championship Series after being left off the ALDS roster. Who does that? Like the
Yeah,
Yankees make so many dumb moves. They do so many questionable things. How many times did they change the lineup in October? It's like, what the hell? I had a tweet that went off in Yankees Twitter because I said the Yankees are putting together lineups like fans put together 9-leg parlays, hoping they work. Let's hope this hits. Let's throw anything together and hope this works. You got to have a plan and you got to have a consistent lineup. And these guys got to know who they're batting in front of or behind when you're on the biggest stage. So I don't know, man. Let's see what happens with Volpe. I'm a Jersey guy. You're a Jersey guy. Obviously, we want to see a young Jersey kid get the opportunity to play shortstop for the New York Yankees, but they're probably going to send him down in favor of manipulating his service time and getting another year of control instead of just pressing the Anthony Volpe button and firing all the fans up. If IKF is at shortstop, like you said, I'm going to be pissed off because he's supposed to
so
be
am
a
I. Yeah,
stopgap guy. There's no gap. Volpe's ready. Peraza's ready. So the gap is done. You've got IKF saying he's putting on catcher's gear. We've seen IKF shagging fly balls in center. He was
yeah.
playing in left field a couple days ago in spring training. I'm about to check the lineup today. I don't think he's
The
in the
lineup's
outfield
actually
today.
pretty good. They got Volpe lead
Volpe
off, Nestor
off.
on the bump.
Yeah. But you can't watch this game today.
No, I think it's. I'm not sure if you could even hear it. I know it's on like
No,
MOB.
it's
So I don't even know. And
if
they
you can
also
hear
made
it, it's
another
not on
rule.
WFAN.
They also made another rule where the Apple TV games, those you have to pay for now, or I don't know. The games just
Of
become like
course.
non-existent.
Last year it was free. Can't get no more free, Randy. Like It was a free sample last year, and that was the whole thing. Okay, we'll give it to them for free for a year, and if they don't already have Apple IDs, they'll make one, and then next year we'll charge them. So it's a business model. It's a business of
Yep.
baseball. It's where baseball is headed. From the lockout to now, baseball is healthy. They're making money, and the fans are going to complain about rule changes, about where to find games to watch, about streaming versus cable. It's just the game moving into the future.
No, exactly. So going back to your shows on the fan, this is just a question for me. I just want to know, how do you prepare for your shows? Do you kind of just write down a whole bunch of topics? Do you just let the callers call it and see where it goes? What's kind of like your mindset going into a show?
Every day I'm working on the show all day. From the time I wake up, I'm listening to Tiki and Tierney or Carton and Roberts. Carton and Roberts is on right now. So I'm listening to what is going on WFAN before I touch that mic. That's the first part. Like, you got to know what the topics of the day are before you jump on. You might not have to listen to everyone's takes, because sometimes listening to other people's takes, they become your own without without you even realizing. Like, subconsciously you have these thoughts in your head and you don't even realize where you got them from. It's like, oh, well, you heard BT say that. So I'm listening to the midday show and the afternoon show before I go on at night. But I am a big ESPN guy. I am a big television guy. So during the day, I have on Fubo TV, I'm watching Sports Center, Get Up, First Take, which, First Take sucks, Get Up sucks. But I keep it on for like different news popping up. I'll have
Right.
on MLB Network, NFL Network, NBA TV, FS1, SNY, just so anything that comes across those shows where they're live talking about news, I will put them in my notes. And I have an iPhone note where every day, like yesterday, I had a 5-hour KM to AM Wednesday. And what I did was piggyback off of my Tuesday night late show, because I did a show from 10:30 to 2 a.m., which is leading into the next day, and some of the same topics. So it was like World Baseball Classic, Rick Pitino hired as St. John's coach, um, the
Aaron
Jets
Rodgers,
making,
probably.
the
Yeah.
Jets make. We had a couple of days off from Aaron Rodgers, but you bring in Miko Hardman and you get rid of Elijah Moore. Now we're talking about Aaron Rodgers again. Um, yeah, so like it's a constant preparation. It's a constant, like, every day that I'm awake and I'm going to be on air, I'm thinking about what topics to bring on the show. And you can never have too many topics stacked up, because it can get stagnant. You don't want to spend too long on one thing. And you also can't rely on the callers. I think when I first started, I relied on the callers because I'm a solo host. And then I realized, like, some of these callers don't know what they're talking about. Some of these callers can't talk. So you got to be ready. You got to be loaded with ammo, with clips to come in. Like, all right, boom, we're going to talk about this. And I try to set the table and then let people call and choose from whatever they heard from, and kind of, pick something from the table that they'd like to talk about. And then I just lead the way through the 5-hour show. And man, I've gotten good at it, as far as, like, they're not hard for me to do anymore. Steve Summers called them the marathon, the 5-hour schmooze. People look at them at WFAN as the hardest show to do. I relish the opportunity. I love getting 5 hours to talk about whatever I want to talk about with whoever wants to listen and call in and talk to me.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I will say personally, this was a few months ago, maybe even in 2022. I liked when you rapped on there, and I thought that got a lot of attention on Twitter too, which probably helped you a lot.
Yeah, so I kicked a rap in February of 2022, and I didn't have the camera rolling, and WFAN also didn't have the cameras where, like, I couldn't get the video of me kicking that rap. So it was the type of thing. It was like, if a tree falls in the woods and no one hears it, like, did the tree fall? Like,
Yeah.
I felt like it fell on deaf ears. So this time around, what inspired that was the Giants were having their playoff run, and some guy came through with like a Giants rap on Carton and Roberts. And not for nothing, bro. It didn't slap. It
Not
was
up there?
I don't want to say it wasn't good, but I remember listening to Carton and Roberts, and they played that at like 3:45. By 3:45, I had to stop listening to the show, and I started writing a rap. I picked out a beat, I started writing a rap. And so from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I wrote the rap, drove into the city, got on air, did my open, first break back from the open, I'm like, hey, turn me up. Like, I kicked that shit one take, and I have my phone recording me. That's why the video on my Twitter, the pinned tweet, it's like a little grainy because one, I have an iPhone 12. I need to upgrade, but whatever. I own the
Yeah.
phone and I don't pay for it. I bought the phone straight out when I got it. I need to buy another one, but they're expensive. And the lights are so bright in there. The TV lights are so bright in there. So the video on my Twitter is pinned and it looks kind of grainy, blurry, whatever. But I did all that myself. I took the audio from the Odyssey app, screen recorded it, ripped that audio, put it in Adobe Premiere over the phone video, put those as one, exported it, put it up. That's got over 100,000 views. And I'm telling you, it shook the room. Like Chris Oliviero, who's the architect, the big boss, texts me like good
Yeah.
stuff. Susan Waldman texts me like, yo, that's crazy. Everybody at the station was like, it's just a way to show my other talents. Like I said, I'm a DJ and I used to MC. It's not the first time I've ever had a mic in my hand. And I've been rapping since I was like 10 years old. And I used to have a studio in Ocean Township where we would go write, record, and, you know, put together raps. So I have some other raps online. If you look online, hashtag baseball bars, I used to just rap about baseball. And I knew that that was something that would break through to start the year. I did that early on this year in January, and people are still talking about it. And I'm like, last night I said, I'm like, I got to kick something before I leave for paternity leave, like just to remind people, like I'm a sports guy. I have a good amount of sports knowledge, but I'm also musical, and I have the talent to literally like write raps and recite raps and flow on time and like do that live. It's like performative.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I can't wait to hear about the future ones. And also, Spike quote tweeted it. I saw that as well. I'm not sure exactly what he
Of
said,
course.
but yeah,
Spike said
no, that's
something like,
really
I think
cool.
this was a first for WFAN. I don't think we've ever had a host rap on
Yeah,
WFAN. And I was like, that's the second time I've rapped. And like I have done some little freestyles in and out, but now I don't do those. I'll just save them for when I like have something prepared. And then like Carton shows up the next day with some little nursery rhyme he put together, like, yo, mumbo jumbo, rumble in the jungle. You know, I stumbled, I got humbled. Craig Carton. I thought it was hilarious, actually, that like he attempted to rap, and that's my impact on the station. You put a young black dude
yeah,
on the air with a little bit of hip hop in him, actually a lot of hip hop in him, but bringing a little bit of hip hop to his show and to the airwaves, I think it just adds a lot of flavor, and it fits New York. New York is a place where like rap was originated, and growing up, I always wanted to rap on Hot 97, Power 105, Sirius XM with Sway. I didn't get an opportunity to do that, but I've seized my opportunity on WFAN. I bet they never thought there'd be a host on WFAN writing original raps and kicking them on air live.
I would have loved to see like a taxi driver who's listening to the fan, his reaction. That would be amazing.
I mean, I heard from a few different people. They're like, bro, they're like, you're different. Like, I had someone introduce me to someone. And they're like, yo, this is Keith. He hosts on the fan. He raps. Like one night I was listening, he broke out in a rap. And I'm like, good. Like, that's what we should be doing. Instead of me like berating callers or ranting about, you know, nonsense or just being boring or monotone. Yeah, the New York Yankees, they might call up Anthony Volpe. Like, no, I try to bring creativity, energy, style, and really like be unique to like myself, be who I am.
Yeah, and it fits the station great. So one last thing, how do we feel about our Devils? Jack Hughes's production has gone down a little bit. VTech, last time I called your show, VTech wasn't doing that good, but he's kind of recovered. But the Devils haven't been winning as much now. I love that. Look at the flow on Jack's hair. Wow, that is beautiful.
Yeah,
That's
Jack
great. Such a
Hughes.
beauty. Superstar.
Yeah.
People that
We
don't
need
realize
Jack to turn back up, bro.
that.
Honestly, we need Jack to go back to like that Hurricanes game where he stole the puck and
Yeah.
he scored and he turned the rock up. And that first goal was like, woo! Like, we need Jack to get back to like being a scorer and being a dog. I know he had the injury, and I know, you know, the lines have changed. And obviously, we brought Timo in and things are a little different, but we need that dog mentality to come out of him the rest of the way. I mean, they've lost 4 out of their last 5. Uh, they've got the Rangers coming up on Thursday after opening day. It's go time. There's a month left in the season less, and this is the best season the Devils have had in a decade plus. They're going to be in the playoffs. They're most likely going to meet the Rangers. They don't have to bow to the Rangers. I know Rangers fans are saying they want the Devils. Be careful what you wish for. I think the Devils can
Exactly.
take them
Devils
7
are
games
faster.
or be a tough matchup for them. We'll see. I love the Devils now. I wasn't a hockey fan before the fan, but I'm an internet guy. So when I first got hired, I'm reading all the critiques of me. And like I said, on my tryout, I qualified myself. I told my story. On my first night on air, I qualified myself. I told my story. And I let people know I do not have a hockey team. I'm not a hockey fan. I'm a wild NBA fan. I don't miss many NBA games. I don't miss many Nets games. But that doesn't mean I won't take on the challenge of learning hockey. I put it out there. Hey, any of these 3 local teams want to bring in a host? Rangers, Isles, Devils. The Devils were on it. The Devils are first class. They still show me love whenever I pull up. They treat me like a king, and that's why I'm showing the love back. And you hear about the Devils every night that I'm on WFAN. I'm ready for the Stanley Cup playoffs for sure.
I absolutely love it. Devils need 5 more points to clinch, and hopefully they can keep that 2 seed or potentially get the 1, but I have my doubts about that. Have you met Kenny
Probably the two.
Danico, Mr.
I
Devil?
have. I met
Yeah,
I
he's
met
really nice.
Danico the first game I ever went to, and I wasn't familiar with him yet. But then I obviously started watching games, and then I started going more. And then I was on the broadcast with Matt Lachlan, and I've been in there. I've been to like 6 games now. I got to try and get back before my son is born. Um, the Devils, I feel like, need more ambassadors. They need more people pulling up with influence, with platforms, showing people what the arena is like and supporting the team. I know I'm not alone, but yeah, there's more Devils fans than I think people want to, give credit for. The Devils fan base is strong.
It's definitely a better environment this year than what it has been in the past, but I'm really proud every time I watch it. The place looks is sold out, and if not sold out, about 95%. So definitely an awesome environment. And I went to a playoff game in 17. That place gets loud. It's really cool.
The tickets are affordable. The fans can get there by train. They can drive. It's not too bad getting in and out of there. And yeah, you're right. Every game I've went to, I've been impressed. I'm like, there's a good amount of people in here. The Devils
Yeah,
do a good job. They do a good job of hosting the local community, having events, having promotions, and getting people into the Rock.
yeah, for sure. So to end off this podcast or show, whatever you want to call it, is there any general advice that you want to give to people like me who want to break into sports media after college or maybe just want to break into the sports industry?
Yeah, my advice is that it's not always going to be a straight line. It's going to have twists and turns. And go the road less traveled. Everybody wants a straight line to, okay, I went to school for journalism, sports broadcasting, radio, television. I want to walk out of school and be interning at a radio station or a TV network. It doesn't always work like that. And you got to grind, you got to put in the work. And young people now are more fortunate than ever. If you're dope, you can make a podcast, make a YouTube channel, make a TikTok, and be seen. Get on Twitter and post every day about whatever team or whatever league or whatever player or whatever interest you have. And if you're dope, people will find you. There are literally no gatekeepers as far as the internet. If you're talented and you put the work in and you're consistent, you can be spotted, you can be put on. And now all of the television and radio, like big companies, big networks, are using the internet to find the next, on-air talent, on-air personality. So for people that listen to this, whether you go to Penn State, whether you went to Monmouth like me, even if you don't go to school, if you have talent and you have passion and there's something that you want to do in this field, whether it's radio, television, podcasting, covering sports, whatever, it's on you. It's on you to put the work in, put the time in, and develop your brand, perfect your craft, and go for it. It's not going to be easy because everybody wants to work in sports. Everybody wants these jobs. And what I say a lot is, man, I had 11 years from when I graduated before I got on radio and TV. And for 11 years, I just thought maybe I won't use my degree. Maybe I won't actually make it, but like I'm going to keep trying. And I never really veered too far out of my lane. Like, I told you guys I worked in social media, but like I wasn't a plumber for 2 years. I told you guys I drove Lyft Uber, but that was something that was a means to get to something else. That was never a full-time gig. I always was doing something in radio, television, audio, video, music, sports, and it connected for me. And I'm just getting started in the industry. Honestly, I hope to have a 25-year career in New York City, the hardest place to make it.
Have you ever thought about broadcasting live games, or you just want to stick to radio?
So the
Or
first
T-
thing I ever did was call Pop Warner football games in my town when I was 16. I was varsity quarterback. I love football. I still love football. Um, and someone gave me an opportunity to make a couple dollars calling the Pop Warner football games on Sundays. I haven't done play-by-play or color since then, but it's not a challenge that I would shy away from. Someone asked last night, they're like, you and Kim Jones should take over for John and Susan. And I'm like, I don't think Susan's going anywhere for a long time. And if John hangs it up after this year, I don't think they're going to go to me. But if they did ask me to sit in and call a game, I would absolutely take on the challenge and do my best. So that's the thing, too. You have to be versatile, and you got to be flexible. And you can't be scared to grow. You have to always be evolving. You have to always be trying new things, learning new things, and, just be open to any opportunities. You never know what doors are going to open or what leads to the next thing. Just be an asset, add value, and take on anything that you can.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, Keith, once again, thank you very much for coming on here. And for anybody who's watching or listening, make sure to follow Keith on Twitter. I'm not sure your exact handle, so I'll let you say it, but make sure to follow him.
It's my first name, last name, Keith McPherson. If you Google that, if you write that in the Twitter search, if you put that on Instagram, it's going to come up with me. I'm verified. Everybody's about to be verified now because you can buy a badge, but it's
Yeah.
legitimately me. Like when you see the verified badge, it's me. First name, last name, authentic, real name, no gimmicks. There is a underscore in between Keith and McPherson on Twitter because somebody has Keith McPherson as one thing on Twitter. I don't know. They're not even active. But yeah, I'm not hard to find. I'm not hard to find.
Yep. So thank you again. And everybody who watched, thank you for watching. Everyone have a great day. Take care.